Grateful Dead stuck around.
Absolutely. Yeah, very much. I mean, and they're reckoned to be the most bootlegged band. They actually encourage people to record the concerts. In fact, some of the concerts, they had a little area at the front of the stage for people with their own recorders, and they actively encourage people to record their performances.
Which is interesting that they didn't want their performance recorded at the Monterey Music Festival.
Absolutely. I think, and they also abandoned. They were due to play at Altamont, but decided because the violence was escalating across the day, they pulled out of that particular festival.
Now sit your butt down.
The John Lebang Show will be right back.
And I promise you'll love it. Yes.
I'd like to take a quick second here to tell you about our new sponsor, Quality One Painting. For interior and exterior painting needs, call Tom at Quality One, 313-982-2986. Tom will give you free estimates, senior discounts, and I can tell you from meeting the gentleman, he's one of the nicest guys on the face of the planet. So for a quality paint job with a professional attitude, call Tom at Quality One Painting. That's 313-982-2986. 313-982-2986. Quality One Painting.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
If you want to contact the John Lebang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John Lebang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John Lebang Show. Now here's John.
But one of the bands that really did well out of Monterey was Big Brother and the holding company.
Janis Joplin.
Absolutely. She joined them about a year before. I think she did the first concert around the 10th of June, 1966. But they didn't have any hits. Their first hit, Piece of My Heart, that wasn't until the 28th of September, 1968, after the festival. And she left Big Brother about 6 months later, in December 1968. But they did really well. They performed twice. They did an afternoon performance on the Saturday, and people were so impressed with them that they were invited back to do a second appearance. And that first one on the Saturday hadn't been filmed, and it was the second one that was filmed. And it was this festival that really established Janis Joplin's reputation. In fact, Albert Grossman signed the band. He was at the festival and he signed the band, and that's what led to a recording contract at Columbia.
But she left soon after.
That's right. Yeah.
What was the details behind that? Do you know the details behind why she left?
I don't know why she left. I'm not sure. I know that the lead guitarist, whose name escapes me, he left as well, and they formed the Cosmic Blues Band. Maybe she wanted to front the band more.
Sure.
I don't know.
We can chalk it up to musical differences.
That's usually the difference with that.
That's the easy way out of everything. Why'd that happen? Musical differences.
Exactly, and that's really ... and on to something else.
Exactly.
But, absolutely. But they're on tour. Funny enough, Big Brother and the holding company are still touring, and Peter Albin and Dave Getz, who were very early members, I think they were original members, they're still with them. And a lady called Darby Gould is doing the lead vocals now. I mean, she has replaced Grace Slick in the past in Jefferson Starship. Oh. So she's well established.
Yeah, she's a veteran.
Yeah, and because Grace Slick retired in the 90s. In fact, there's a wonderful quote from Grace Slick that suggests that all rock and rollers over 50 should retire. You know, you can carry on with jazz or country or blues until you're 120. But rock and rollers, they should all retire at 50.
Damn it, I got to retire, man. I got like 6 months left. I better hit it big soon.
Well, there you go, mate.
She says I can go into blues, huh?
Well, that's the thing to do. I mean,
Now you
most of those
talk my
guys-
old blue voice. Blues, jamming the blues.
Exactly, and as you get older, your voice gets deeper, and it just gets it all points down the blues direction. But somebody should tell Mick Jagger, I suppose.
Well, wasn't one of their more recent albums somewhat bluesy?
Oh yeah, their last album.
See, he's
which I think
following suit, man.
Absolutely. I mean, it was back to the roots. It was all early blues covers. I think it was their first studio album for about 10 years. I can't remember what it was called. Back in Blue or something like that. But it's a really good album. Meanwhile, at the festival, Electric Flag made their debut at the festival. Can you imagine, as a band, the first ever gig you play is at a festival like this? Absolutely incredible.
Oh, yeah. And would they open?
Yeah, that was Mike Bloomfield. He left Paul Butterfield's blues band to form Electric Flag. And they'd actually already got an album out at the back end of 67. It was a movie soundtrack called The Trip. It was a Roger Corman film. And on the film credits, they're billed as the American Music Band because they hadn't actually got the Electric Flag name yet. And in fact, when they were billed for Monterey, they were billed as the Mike Bloomfield thing, which I thought was pretty good. But they took their name from a novelty American flag. Apparently it was on a pole and it flapped in the breeze because it had a little electric fan in its base. I thought that was a great basis for the name of a band.
Yeah, we should do that in the future. Like have a show that we just discuss how names were created for bands, because I think that would be very interesting.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's so many varied and wonderful names that bands have used over the years. That'd be a great show. I'll have to get that thinking cap on for that one. That'd be a brilliant show.
We'll work on it. We're still on Monterey now. I always divert us. I apologize.
But, I mean, Mike Bloomfield, he left the band Electric Flag in mid-68. And interestingly enough, he moved on from Paul Butterfield's blues band, the previous band, after they'd been doing a lot of touring. And he reckoned he was exhausted, and he just effectively walked out of the band. And in mid-68, he was working on an album with Al Cooper called Super Session, and he abandoned that after half the material was recorded, after one side. So if you've ever wondered why Steve Stills is on the other side, it's because Mike Bloomfield was meant to be there, but had enough, basically.
Stills from Crosby, Stills and Nash you're talking about.
That's right, yeah. But, I mean, interestingly enough, Electric Flag was very much Mike Bloomfield's band, but they are back on the road as well, and you see them in America 15th of May to the 14th of October. And what's great about this is founding members Barry Goldberg and Nick Gravenites, they're still with the band, and Harvey Mandel from Canned Heat, and John Mayall is also playing with the band.
That sounds like a good lineup.
Oh, that will be well worth seeing. I mean, Goldberg and Gravenites, they're veterans of this kind of music. I mean, that really would be great. But Paul Butterfield actually played at the festival as well. Now, they're interesting because they formed around 1963, and they were one of the very first, possibly the first, that was a racially integrated band to have black and white musicians in the early 60s in an American band was very, very rare. And Elvin Bishop was on guitar, and a guy called Jerome Arnold and Sam Lay with the bass and the drums, the rhythm section. They were from Howlin' Wolf's band. So, you can see the pedigree there. Absolutely amazing.
No, it sounds like a great lineup.
And they've done some famous stuff. I mean, they were at that jazz festival in '66, so you can see their credibility was high. But they're the guys that played the Newport Folk Festival in '65 when Dylan did that notorious electric set, and it was essentially Mike Bloomfield's band that was backing Dylan.
Oh, right. That was the one where it got everybody upset because he wasn't playing acoustic, right?
That's right. That's right. But if you'd listened to the music he was doing and had been doing, he'd been playing electric instruments had electric instruments there for quite a while. But there were various reasons suggested why he wasn't popular. One that's often suggested is that they weren't actually booing him because he was playing electric. They were booing him because the mix was so bad they just couldn't hear Dylan's voice.
Yeah, he didn't have a strong, his style of singing isn't power. So if you have any kind of amplification and a real nice set of drums, I could imagine with the PA systems back then, it was probably harder to mix in a vocal of Bob Dylan's stature.
Absolutely. And they wouldn't have been used to mixing, as you say, his voice with electric instruments at that time. So, and I can imagine in open-air festivals, particularly in the mid-'60s, the equipment wouldn't be that sophisticated.
Yeah, when you got good hard rock guitars and you're going, yeah, probably can't hear it too often.
Yeah, I mean, you had keyboardist Al Cooper there. Well, Al Cooper and Barry Goldberg, and guitarist was Mike Bloomfield, who's arguably certainly one of the earliest blues rock and roll guitar heroes. He died actually in '87 of a drug overdose found in a parked car in a San Franciscan high street. Rather sad.
How many of these guys like to end their lives in a parked car, by the way? Gee whiz.
Stay out of parked cars.
Yeah, it's not funny, but it's just, was he 27 by chance?
No, he was a little bit older than that, but Janis Joplin, Brian Jones, even though he wasn't playing. So there were several of the 27 Club people there. But one of the interesting guys who was there, he played in a couple of bands. It was David Crosby, as Crosby, Stills and Nash. So it's before those three got together. But he was actually with Buffalo Springfield. No, sorry, he was with the Byrds at the time. But he actually stood in for Neil Young in Buffalo Springfield. And it was actually advertised as Buffalo Springfield with David Crosby, which I thought again is an interesting piece of advertising for positioning the show. I mean, they played their last gig in May '68, but there are three of them on tour right now. Steve Stills is actually on a tour with Judy Collins, which would be great fun to watch. That does America and Canada from 7th of May to the 5th of October. And Neil Young's on tour in America, 23rd of June to the 23rd of September. And Richie Furay is touring America 13th of June, well, most of this year now, 13th of June to the 3rd of November. So you can almost see Buffalo Springfield back, but you just have to be at lots of different concerts.
And Neil Young he's another one that just never stops touring. He's always on the road, album or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is he still doing the vegetable oil caravan, where he's using the vegetable oil to fuel his caravan?
Oh, I should think so. I mean, that would fit in very much with the way he sees life. Yeah. I mean, he's been writing sort of ecological songs for some little while.
He goes through, I used to see him before the tour, he sent somebody around to all the restaurants, can we have your used oil?
Exactly.
Smoke them if you got them.
Because the John LeBang Show will be right back
after this. That's guaranteed. Yes. Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning for a beautiful sparkling shine that's crystal clear. Call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass. You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
Join the radio revolution right here.
It's better than some good Thai stick, man.
Yes, I would like some too.
But David Crosby, I mean, he was in the Byrds, and the Byrds were playing there as well. And I mean, he was actually sacked shortly afterwards. I mean, very shortly afterwards, by Roger McGuinn from the Byrds. I mean, while he was playing the festival with the Byrds, in between songs, he actually spoke out on stage, and he does this. He did this little pitch. How he was suggesting that JFK was killed by multiple shooters, and he disputed the Warren Commission report into JFK's death. because he was really quite outspoken, which probably went a long way to Roger McGinn thinking, whoa, it's time David